Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. If you've not come across me before, this might be the first time you've seen one of my videos. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I demonstrate the use of not all of them, it's whatever I've got my hands on, stamps and punches and tools and anything to do with paper crafting, basically. And today what I'm showing you is the Plaid Tidings DSP. Look how lovely that is. And I'm putting this project together as part of the Share It on a Sunday series that myself and two other crafters, Crafty Karen Designs and Vicky Lou Designs, we share a project every Sunday. There's a different theme every Sunday, and this week it's a masculine gift box. So I made that. I also did a blog post for it. I took photographs, uploaded the photographs onto my blog, deleted photographs, lost blog. So I thought I'll just do a video, it's just far easier. So I've got that, which is in blue. It's quite masculine with a little bit of red. In fact, I think that's actually Poppy Parade. So we've got a nice splash of colour there, some Misty Moonlight ribbon, some Misty Moonlight card. I'll just very quickly, I'm not going to go through all of these, but Plaid Tidings is 6x6 designer series paper. Look at that for brightness. If you're ever making cards for men that like, or women that like check stuff, this is the DSP for you. I've made an origami dress out of that. Love that. So it's not just for men at all, or it's not just, you know, that kind of masculine theme. It is for anybody if you like checks. So that's currently in our autumn winter catalogue. Head along to my blog for the link to purchase those. Now what I'm using is that, and what I'm using with that is that and that. Now if you're looking at that thinking, oh my goodness, just go with it. There's no rules for colours. Anything goes. So I've picked this. This I believe is crushed curry, which is very deep yellow. I'll give you the measurements for this in a minute. They're on my blog. I'll leave the link for that for below. We've got a bit of white in there. We've got some rich razzleberry, which is what that card is. I'm going to put some circles on there. Just going to decorate it. This started off as a piece of A4 cardstock that was trimmed down to 6.5 inches by 11 inches. And then I cut it all out, and then my daughter rang. I'm not doing it again. I'll show you where you're going to have to score and where we put all of those cut lines. Got my scissors ready to point and show. So on the long side, you are going to score at 1.5, 5 1/4, 6 3/4, and 10.5. On the short side, you're going to score at 1.5 and 5. So on the long side, and on this side where you just have the 1/2 inch tab, you're going to remove the triangle that's there and the triangle, goodness me, the rectangle that's here and the rectangle that's here. You just remove those completely. And then in the middle of your card here, you've got a square and you've got a square at the end, and they are on both sides of your paper, of your card. I'm not starting again, I'm carrying on. And what you do is you cut up this score line to the first score line, but then you kind of wedge in a little bit. So you come in a bit and then you cut up to the diagonal. The same here as well. So you don't touch these rectangles, you just wedge into those, into both squares here. And that is what you are left with. You're then going to get your very bright DSP, and you're going to have one, it's not a square actually, it's not quite a square, it's 3.5 inches by 3 1/8 of an inch, and it fits like that. Make sure you get it on the right way, because if you do it, oh, is it that way? No, if you do it that way, it's not right. It's got to be like that, and then you get an even-ish border all the way around. Then you've got two pieces that measure 3.5 by 1.25. It's not those, I think that's there. Just got to try and get it all right. And that's not the right side, that goes there. That one goes next to that tab because that's the top, that's the lid. So that one actually goes there next to that 1/2 inch tab. Those two go like that. So that's the one that is 3.5 by 1.25. And then you've got another one that's another two that are 3.25 by 1.25. And they sit, I'm just trying to now think how they sit, on there like that. On there like that. These are the side flaps and fit into the box. These are the outside of the base of the box. So before I glue anything, I just put them in place and make sure that I've got them in the right place first. So this is your bottom, this is your top, and it's next to that tab. This is the front because that's where the tab will fit into, so that's the front. That's the sides of the box, and these are the flaps that fit into the box. So I'm going to glue those down just using liquid glue for these. So this is from the Plaid Tidings DSP that's in our autumn winter catalogue. The autumn winter catalogue runs till just a tad after New Year. Oh, my glue's run out now. Well, it's not run out, it's in there, it just won't come out. I'll go and sort that. Sorted. I do store it upside down, but sometimes the glue just gets stuck. Now if that happens, what I do is I get a pin and I just stick the pin, because it's covered in glue, stick it into the top of the glue pot, and away we go. So there we are, we've got some glue on there. You can stick it down with tear and tape if you like, or with Stampin' Seal, whatever you have to hand. I prefer liquid glue because I can put that on and I can just wiggle it about a bit until it sets. And you have seconds to do that, you don't get very long. Anyway, as I was saying, this is available in the autumn winter catalogue until just after New Year. I think it's the 3rd of January. So if you like making, I'm always very careful when I say masculine cards because it's not exactly 2020, is it? But it's cards that would traditionally suit men, but you know, women can like this kind of check effect as well. There we are, that's all I'm saying about that. But these this paper would really work all year round. I'm going to maybe stop this video and have a word with my glue in a minute. It is quite empty though. But I'm so mean when it comes to my supplies. If it's not run out, I'm not throwing it away. But I think this one, no, it's still got some coming out. And you can use these measurements for this box for anything, any design of box. Just choose your cardstock, choose your paper, try and get them to coordinate if you can, but anything goes really, as you will see by this one. So if you know somebody who loves bright colours, this is the project for them. Just hope I've got that on the right way. Yeah. So there we have it. That's our box decorated. Now the next thing that we do, I use tear and tape for this. I prefer tear and tape for boxes rather than glue, because with the wet glue you kind of have to hold it down until it sets, and I'm just too impatient for that. So I'm putting some tear and tape on all of these, which originally were squares, on all of these, one right on the score line and then one right at the end to stop it flapping about in the box. You can just tear it off, it's really easy to use. Also as well, if you wanted to make this box really plush and really luxurious, you could line it. So this is the outside of the box. if you wanted to, you could then line the box, but that's entirely up to you. I'm not going to do that because we'll be here all day. So make sure with this tear and tape that it is properly pressed down, because we don't want it going anywhere when we lift off that paper. And take all of them off at the same time. Now this one, I'm not going to use ribbon to hold it all together. I think because I haven't got any ribbon that's going to match this at all. That's the only thing about using really bright colours, is that you don't always have the ribbon that matches, but I might see what I've got in a second. I might have some non-current ribbon. We'll see how this goes. So I'm going to go through this slowly on 2 of them just so you can see what's happening. There is your half inch tab there, which is the top. Something else that I want to do before I do anything else, I want this side first. Let me show you what I mean. Now you don't have to use the circle punch for this, but I've got the 1.5 inch punch. And I just need to do a little thumb thing. I don't know what the word is, but it just makes the box easier to open. So just in the middle, just go up a little bit. I'm just eyeballing that, but you could do a little pencil mark if you wanted to. And just punch that out. That went flying. Right, so back to where we were. So this is the top of our box. This is the base of our box. So I want this lid part to be completely independent from well, not completely independent, but I don't want it stuck to these tabs. These tabs are going to stick to this end, which is the bottom. So what you do is you take, all gets a bit fiddly, but take this, that folds behind that, and make sure that your cut line matches that score line. A bit difficult for me to see with the camera in the way, but you want that to get to match as best you can. So there's the one on the other side. Fold it in there behind that one. Cut line meets score line, and that's why it's important to get your tear and tape right up to that score line. It really helps. So now I'm at my front. I've got these 2 flappy bits. I've gone out of focus. Sorry about that. Fold over like that, and then press it down. And then the last one, which can always be a bit awkward, just fold it behind. Cut edge meets raw edge. Once you've done that a couple of times, you won't have a problem with it. But I remember the first time I did that, I thought, what is happening there? Couldn't work it out. But you just need to practice it a couple of times. I probably could have stuck that on better, but I'm not going to lift it off. We'll leave it there. So now we have a box, and I want these flaps to fit in here like that, but they won't because we haven't given them any shape. So there's your 1/2 inch flap. So this bit here, we're just going to come in a little bit and cut up to that corner. And that should make a difference. Now don't do a lot, just a teeny tiny bit. And then if it still doesn't fit, then you can take a bit more off. So fold them in. Still need some more. You could probably take a decent enough chunk off, but I just prefer to do it little by little because we want this box to close quite tightly shut. Let's try that. There we are, much better. Now that fits in. It's quite firm, and then we'll poke that flap in as well. And because I was a little bit careless with this, it has made it a bit tight. It's very difficult to see what I'm doing when I'm filming. There we are, that's in. And then that little thumb thingy is there, so it's easy to pull that out. But that's tight, that's going nowhere. See, that's not coming out. And actually, when you put all of that together, those colours, they're not really too bad. I don't think so anyway. Anyway, I'm going to put some Blackberry Bliss card. I've got the 2 1/4 and the 2-inch circle punches. And the first thing I'm going to do is punch out a 2 1/4 inch piece of Blackberry Bliss. It's just a bit of scrap that I have. So I buy my cardstock in colour blocks. So Blackberry Bliss is part of the Regals range, and there are 10 colours per colour block. So there's neutrals, regals, subtles and brights. And this, what I'm using here is using regals. So I've got that, and then I've got a piece of crushed curry, but it's not big enough. So I'm just going to locate a scrap of crushed curry. So I've just tracked down some crushed curry, and what I'm going to do first actually is stamp it. That'll be the best thing. So I've got the Itty Bitty Birthdays stamp set. It's got all sorts of birthday wishes on here, and I'm going to use this, awesome at any age. There it is. So this is a cling stamp. I'm just going to use a D block for this. It's not a D block actually, it's a C block. And I've got some Blackberry Bliss ink. Our inks don't look like this anymore. This is one of the older styles of ink. They've repackaged everything now, rebranded their packaging, so it looks a little bit different. So just lightly tap my stamp on there. And then get my 2-inch circle punch, line it up and punch it out. Get my box back. So that's going to sit on there like that. Now to stick all of that together, I'm going to use mini dimensionals. I love these. I don't like the big dimensionals. I prefer these smaller ones. So on the crushed curry piece, just going to put 3 on there and then stick that onto the rich raspberry circle like that, and then put that on there. Now let's see if I got some rich raspberry. Don't know if this is this rich raspberry? No, it's fresh fig, which retired ages ago. But I did have some old ribbon. Maybe I haven't. Oh, I had something. Right, I don't have any ribbon that would particularly match that, but that box is quite secure. It really does need a pull to get that open. So this just finishes it off, so just take the backing off of those. And there you have it. Make sure I've got that at the top there. 3 colours that you may never have thought of putting together, and you may still think that you're not going to put them together, but I think that just shows about thinking outside the box. Oh, get it, outside the box. Anyway, so this one I did put a ribbon on because I had ribbon that matched my cardstock, but it doesn't need it. It absolutely doesn't need it. That lid is super tight. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can see how 2 boxes just completely clash, but there we are. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I'll be back again soon with another project for you. Bye bye.